Alright, so we are going to be starting off with part two. Don't eat the cashier. From where we left off. Unfair bills, unacceptably large numbers. Of course, what else could upset him so much if not that? Steps, another visitor. This one decided to come in through the door for a change. He seems unwell. I hope he doesn't knock over my shelves. A shampoo with jojoba oil and delicate lilies on his way. Oh, hello. He's not just unwell, he looks like hell, literally. All the skin on the left side is torn off from his jaw to his temple. I swallow nervously. What kind of meat grinder has this guy been through? He looks like someone who could rip me apart if he doesn't like what he hears. I need to be careful if I don't want to become the next victim. Oh, you look like the trimmer at the end of the second movie? Maybe not. How's life, sir? Well, charged to imagine how the other fighter looks. Well, when will the Lord take my final soul break down? No. Let's not do that one. How's life? No. Well, it's hard to imagine how the other fighter looks. That one's kind of funny. I like that one. He lets out a gurgling, raspy laugh. You don't want to know what the other fighter looks like. Oh, he liked that. Okay. Honestly, I really don't want to know. My inner archive labeled I don't want to know this is at risk of bursting from overflow tonight. Words clearly come to him with great difficulty, which is probably not surprising for a man without half a face. He clears his throat, but that doesn't help him. I need blood. Is he a vampire? He tried to smile. It would be charming if he had all the necessary muscles for that. Now it will haunt me in my nightmares, among other things. The client pauses again, briefly to clear his throat. Let me see what we have. How about tomato juice? We don't do no IGH. Let me see what we have. Yeah, good choice, babe. Step to the storage. Okay, buddy, you in my store, just in case. Whoa. He suddenly leaned forward, boring into me with his remaining eye. Go and find me some goddamn blood. Oh, is he compelling me? What a dick fuck. A strange pressure builds in my head and the edges of my vision blur. An unyielding command blossoms in the center of my mind. I don't know why, but I feel an incredibly strong urge to find blood right now. My client is covered in blood but still hungry. Maybe he fought with something incredible, or is it his own? I found myself in a storeroom, a tangled labyrinth of shelves reaching up to the ceiling, stuffed with boxes, crates, and mysterious cans. In the corner, something rustled and sort of suspiciously, so where could the blood be? I need to think fast. He's not going to wait forever. Right now, I'm at the very beginning of this crazy place. Go to the food for mouth section, go to the supplies for self gearbox, go to the foaming body washes for leather bags, items that. Huh? Go to the food for mouth. These signs are driving me insane. I really hope my manager will eventually learn proper English. I'm surrounded by pure madness of packaging, and even in front of the departure, there's some baby food for cyborgs piled up. I'm frantically trying to decipher the crooked inscriptions. In front of me are sections of food for mouth. Dense energy blocks for chewing, infused nutrition flows, food afraid of heat. Hold on. Dense, infused nutrition flows, food afraid of heat. No? Next to Coca-Cola bottles labeled liquid regret and broth. No. What? Cans labeled vodka. I'd love to meet the person who came up with these names. I checked the shelving for that instance with shits and giggles, but find nothing resembling blood. The closest thing is liquid hematogen in a in a giant wooden container. It smells worse than it looks. I go back. I hear knocking. It's the dry. Oh my god. The countertop. It's not loud but persistent, full of irritation. I don't know with food for mouth. Oh my god. Dense note. I think food afraid of heat. Glasses covered in frost. Liquid family. Liquid family. A huge freezer chamber. Oh my god. Spare parts of human products of matter of lesser forms. Spare parts? Would they have blood in that? Product of animal fauna? No. Matter of lesser life forms. Matter. I don't know. Let's go to despair. Glass of American liquid suspensions regs float. Uh Kevin! Take blood of human organism Kevin, taste of unfulfilled dreams and unwanted expectations, take blood of human organism homeless, high content of cheap alcohol. Blood, taste of Michael, taste of efficient resource. Let's take Michael. Rich, almost glowy, ruby hue. It looks healthy and full of energy. Michael, whoever you were on top. Champion's blood flowed through you. You were probably something like an energy drink for them. Dead. And yet here you are in the jar. There's something to ponder. Lifts his head as I approach. You already? So surprise and clear relief. Well, good thing you weren't wandering around for half an hour. Bring it here. My client finishes the jar and then grimaces. Oh, for crying out loud. What the hell is this crap? He reads a note in the jar. Michael, well, you were a lucky guy, Michael. Too bad I can't kill him a second time. Tastes like a happy family, successful career, and a retirement accountant, and that's probably never even had cockroaches. At least he's now liquid. At least he's now liquid Michael a jar. He chuckles quietly. Yeah, there's something to that. Cool that you found human blood. Good job. You're sharp. Glad to please you, sir, and I'm glad. No, it took longer to get to the rat. Feel free to ask. What? Feel free to ask? Oh, I'm going to wash my dirty face. Don't get bored. While he's not here, I have a perfect opportunity to wipe away the blood stains. I'm just scrubbing a pool of blood on my first day at work. An interesting story for Reddit. A wonderful tale. I'm doing just fine. Nobody has eaten me. He's looking so much fresher with the second half of his face, although his expression still resembles that of a constipated owl. I'll just stand here for a while, okay? Take a little break. Besides, there's nobody here with you right now. Just so you know, if you try to contact the werewolves, I'll take your head and crush it like a walnut. I'm David, by the way, a vampire, as you may have already guessed. What an incredibly interesting way to start an acquaintance. Acquaintance. I can't say that. Okay, especially that part about the walnut. Nice to meet you. Nice to meet you, Isabel. Okay, Isabel. I know what Isabel once. She used to trade candies in Venice Beach. She was a good girl till she got packed up. He's trying to provoke me, deliberately sharing the dirty details of his life to see how uncomfortable I can get. I suppose I'm also selling some kidneys now. Check the catalog. Yes, exactly 10 categories. A catalog? Do you seriously have a catalog? He leans forward, gently intrigued, peering into the catalog. Gremlin kidneys are a delicacy? What does it say? Both delicacy and fuel and animal venom. Because it's a universal product. Want some? I do. Looks like I found my best customer for today. Now I have a vampire here and he's regenerating wonderful. Wonderfully? The main thing is to not accidentally blurt out something wrong. I need to be friendly. Are you sure you're a vampire, not a okay whelp? Since when do vampires wear leather jackets? No, thanks for not eating me. See nothing, silently wipe the counter. Thanks for not eating me, David. And no, because that's just rude. Damn nuts. Probably not all wounds have healed completely, and does being a vampire doctor fall under my duties? I think Bob said it was mandatory. Point at the wound. Let me help. He looks at me skeptically. The offer to help is probably so foreign and unexpected to him that it leaves him momentarily dumbfounded. You what? You want to play nurse? A flicker of confusion replaced by something more intense. It's just a couple of scratches and a little piece of ass that will grow back on its own. I'm fine. If you don't let yourself be treated, my boss will lock us both in Dimension of Horror, where we'll be cleaning toilets before for 2,000 years. I see. You're afraid of doctors, huh? Such a tough guy, yet scared of getting treated? You mentioned werewolves. It's probably not just a scratch. Let me try to help, okay? I give him a chance to save face. Now we're treating him not because he's a wimp, but because he survived an epic battle, a direct blow to his ego. Ego. The guy immediately starts puffing up with pride, his eyes light. I hope I didn't catch rabies. I decided to remain silent about how he's already pretty rapid. Four against one in a narrow alley. You know, there's a myth about werewolves being damn noble, unlike us bloodsuckers. Well, that's a load of crap. One of them was hiding in a trash can, ready to jump out at me. My heart would have definitely stopped dead if it even still beat. It would just rip. It would have just ripped apart from a freaking heart attack. I'm afraid I'll never be able to take out the trash again without fearing for my life. Judging by the distant look, he's plagued by flashbacks of what he's been through. David awkwardly moves his injured arm. All right, hand over your first aid kit. I'm sure this won't be the last pack I'll have to take down. There are way too many stray dogs around these days. Damn you, go ahead. Get your band-aids with Dr. Chokla or whatever you're selling. Oh, uh, huh. Lock in, bitch, lock in. David sheds his jacket, shirt, and shirt, then settles into a squeaky stool next to the counter. He's about to face a serious trial, staying in a vulnerable position for a few minutes. For some reason, cruel fate hadn't made him claw-proof. He's frequently just thrown into a blender. Judging by those bullet scars, he has quite an interesting past. Or maybe he was attacked by werewolf cowboys with guns, most likely the former. By the way, I didn't know that corpses have doctors too. I thought the only doctor available to me now is the coroner. I'm rummaging through the necromancy kit that was sitting under the counter. It's a heavy military-style metal box with a faded label reading Kits for Alternative Living Organisms. Inside, besides standard bandages, there are some strange items: silver tweezers, vial of thick, glowing liquid, additional fingers, and of course, an instruction manual, a cheap laminated brochure stained with something that looks like coffee. In the instruction, the first point states, determine whether you are dealing with a zombie, ask your alternatively living subject if they ever wanted to eat someone's brain. David is clearly not a zombie. So the picture, he glances at the pictures flashing the instructions as I flip it over. There's abominations made of bones, flesh, and cabbage roll in front of his face like memorizing. And all of this lives in the city sewers. I don't know how you're going to use bathrooms now. It'd be great if you didn't notice that. Why do I have to deal with all this? I still glance at my visitor. I wonder if werewolves just clawed him up or if he managed to kill someone too. My instincts, something's out of the Stone Age, suggest that he could have. The guy has a killer's gaze. You see someone like him in an alley, your hand automatically reaches for your wallet and phone. I lower my eyes. Next point. Let's establish the nature of the injuries. What kind of wounds would werewolves leave? Could werewolves leave? If it's simple, you've got lacerations, claws, teeth, and a bit of saliva, probably very contagious. It seems psychological. Tell me about your tragic past. No. Say it with pride of a true soldier, where it feels like a medal for valor. Something like that. He said it as if he didn't care, but I know better. Wounds from a real remedies, buddy. Shake your head. You really need to stop with these fights. Stop medical discussions. Just move on to the next point. I read through what medication I need and grabbed the extract from alternatively living life forms. Now all that's left is to apply this stuff. I dip my fingers in the jar and suddenly he grabs my hand. Do something wrong and I'll rip your tonsils out through your ass. That is very specific. Okay, sorry. He got me all fucked up. Stay in a calm, icy stay in it. Okay, hold on. Allow me to do my job, sir. I will be extremely careful. You know you have this fantastic talent for coming up with threats. No way, I'm pathetic. The phrase of any faceless representation of the service sector, my perfect shield against the surrounding world, and the rude vampires that inhabit it. Watch yourself, you won't get a second chance. No, not my vampire doctor's license. I apply this black goo to the wound. A puff of steam rises from in the air starts to realize something is frying. It's probably very painful, but David remains calm. Not a single complaint, just surprising. I hope it's not from your squid manager. Well, we all hope for that, buddy. Be more careful. Moves come slow and deliberate. I do everything cautiously, barely touching the skin around the wound, allowing him to get used to the sting. I can see the tense muscles in his back and shoulders relax slightly. He's still wound up, but relief is starting to wash over him. Naturally, no thank yous or pleases from him, but at least he's no longer threatening to do something to my ass every 5 seconds. Well, distract him with conversation. You know, David, every noble knight needs someone to tend to his wounds after great battles. I like that. What are you talking about? What knight? What battles? I fought in an alleyway stinking of urine against a bunch of dirty werewolves for territory on the outskirts of this godforsaken city. They tore my pants, and I had to take a new pair of a junkie who was lying in a nearby puddle nearby. What am I, a knight or of what? The knight of torn pants? As long as they're not stained, well, you get it. Say with the pomp of medieval, you are a wolfhound knight. Oh, go to hell. We're so cute. David said this almost affectionately. It seems we're making progress in our relationship. Fit. Okay, sorry. I finished up. Surprisingly, the wounds really are healing. The scars won't beautify this man. Why are you doing all this? The question is asked in an astonishing, serious tone. He's driving me crazy, even more than that clown from earlier, it seems. I just want to help. I just want to help. Truth, you're an angel of mercy. These are my work obligations. No, I just want to help. Why? You want tips? I want to help. Why? David is confused. In his system of beliefs, action always equals benefit. I'm throwing a wrench into his flaws, long-running mechanism. I can't watch someone suffer. Let's just say I have certain fetishes. No. God bless your noble heart. He shifts awkwardly, clearly uncomfortable and unaccustomed to being the object of compassion, so he immediately hides behind yet another sarcastic comment. But what can I do? I feel sorry for every little kitten on the street. Sometimes I even feel sorry for especially large, nasty, troublesome kittens. It must be tough living with someone like that, huh? I bet you have 40 cats living in your apartment and all of them are strays. David reads me like an open book. It's amazing that he can even read it all. Most of the time, help isn't altruistic. People always want something in return. Money, a favor for you to take them off the hook. Helping people for no reason is like throwing shit against the wind. Alright, moving on. Screw this. I honestly don't care what's going on in your head. There's something more unconvincing lie I've ever heard in my life. He clears his throat. Thank you. What? Am I hearing things? I thought he didn't know such words. I'm even afraid to breathe, so I don't scare off this rare exotic display of politeness. He said that word as if he's pronouncing it for the first time in his life. I wouldn't be surprised if it's actually the case. Just a couple more seconds and he's back in the front of the counter. So the client is fed, clean, and healed, and yet he's still here, not putting any money on the counter, and the tip jar is lacking. This is going to be the second guy of the night who skips out on the tip. It's going to end badly. Bob said the bottom shouldn't be visible. I look at him. He's supposed to be full of energy, but instead he looks lost. David is deep in thought, in the dark, gloomy little place that occupies his mind. Can I do anything else for you, sir? Have you decided to eat me after all? Can I do anything else for you, sir? Stumps him. Looks past me for a while before responding. Yeah, you could do something. I'm curious about one thing. I haven't talked to a regular human in a long time. And what about regular human does he mean? My extremely natural essence and no vampire, werewolf, or thieving gnome? Or does he mean my lack of a criminal record and absence of drug or alcohol dependency? Or maybe he's looking for the perspective of an ordinary worker, a working class person, a gray collar. Does your face always look that funny when you're thinking about something? I don't even get a chance to respond to his jab before he follows up. Let's conduct an experiment. Suppose you're now a free vampire, able to go wherever you want, do whatever you want. Where would you go? David looks at me expectantly. Vampires have. What weakness will I have? Who were you before the bite? Can you find everyone who wronged you? No. A lot of things depend on who exactly turned me into a vampire. Who vamped you? And who were you before the bite? Mulberry told me off for mentioning about butts, but he stops himself. Probably his thank you sealed our fragile friendship. I'll tell you, but it's probably not relevant. Well, it's nothing. I was a nobody. I was just surviving as everything went to hell, unlike all those bastards born with a silver spoon up their ass. You ever see those happy American families in TV commercials? They sit on the table with a bowl of salad, smell like idiots, and they always have a dog, but that wasn't my case. My stepdad was a crazy guy who thought the best birthday gift was a smack on the head. He did teach me how to shoot properly, though. I left my family dump early. It's really dumb, but I thought I'd start a band and become a rock star. But as they say, wish in one hand, shit in the other, see which one fills up faster. At first, I worked wherever I could, then found some guys to do some shady stuff with. There are many ways to make a living in Los Angeles area. Can't exactly work the cash register, right? David jabs again, but without malice. The antisocial environment made him resentful of the middle and upper classes, but it hasn't affected me yet. I wonder why. Hey, working the cash isn't so bad. Okay, that's rude. You guys would be cool. Doing gay things, riding motorcycles. She lets out a quiet chuckle. Come on, life isn't as fun as it is in TV shows. Mostly we just sold diluted crap to junkies and solved problems. Sometimes no person, no problem, you know? I preferred the part about motorcycles. That's it, that's the whole story. What about you? Oh Lord, it's my chance to make it something cool. Just tell them like it is. I have a single parent family, an art degree, and no dogs. He listens till I end up in this dump about my job search and everything else. I didn't sell drugs in Mally's, but it seems we still find some common ground. Got it. You're not in your element. David truly understands. Neither he nor I wanted to end up where we are. Neither of us know what to do next. And we both love cheap noodles, but he can't eat them anymore. I win. You must be tired of those draw me requests, huh? I would draw you. Oh, like a French girl? He tries to look nonchalant, but his eyes show he's interested. Go ahead, I love beautiful doodles. He says the word doodles with such strange tenderness that it sounds more like a compliment than an insult. I pick up a pencil. Draw him as he is. Wow, what a face. I forgot what I look like. Bags under my eyes like a junkie. Silence hang in the air while David examines the drawing. He clearly doesn't know how to react to the unexpected little act of diplomacy. Looks cool. The last words are spoken in a barely audible, almost irrelevant whisper, unlike anything I've ever heard from him before. Two simple words said with all the sincerity this guy can muster. I can do something too. It's from me, and deeper comes almost sticking out his tongue and scribbles something. A few minutes later, a drawing appears before me. Is that me? Yeah, should I look pretty as fuck? I would never have thought this guy was capable of that. You draw. Wow, beautiful. Clears his throat, embarrassed. Nothing special, just a doodle. I was into it a bit when I was a kid, comics, all that stuff, nothing serious. I take the drawing for myself. Alright, where were we? Significantly. Wrapping up with questions. Okay, what kind of superpowers do vampires have? Can you find everyone who know? What kind of superpowers? A whole lot. Well, practically a superhero league. I'm sure it never crossed her mind that in reality, bloodsuckers can be way scarier than in sappy movies for girls. Looks like he's watched Twilight. Interesting. Some of us not only drink human blood, but also capture people to experiment on them. They turn human bodies into a real nightmare of flesh and bones. Dr. Moore couldn't even imagine. And there are vampire sorcerers who can rip your soul out of your body and make you work for them for eternity, literally. Seems like I have one of those sorcerers. His name is Bob. He's checking his bills. There he is. I wonder what inner strength it took David not to flinch. And there are those who can make your head explode literally with just a glance. But not all of us are such wicked bastards. We don't even have to kill a person to eat, just drink alone instead of gorging yourself like a pig at the throat. But some don't care. They just drain all the blood and splash it everywhere. The forensic team is baffled why the person turned into a sprinkler before dying. He seems to enjoy talking about how cool vampires are. And which of these do you have? I got a decent list of what I can do. I'm not complaining. Imagine it. You never get tired. You can party all night long. Fuck all night long. Oh my god. You're stronger than 10 thugs combined. Well, except for 10 werewolf thugs. That might take some effort. If you want to shrink down and fly somewhere, you can turn into a tiny bat. Your reflexes become 100 times sharper. You feel everything. You see everything. You can hear a rat piss a block away. Stay silent, let him continue. And finally, you can make him do anything you want. People do anything you want. Absolutely anything. Are you sure the last one is due to your vampires and not just because they're scared you'll beat them up? It's one thing to scare someone shitless, they give in just to avoid being harmed, and another when they act with full confidence that's what they want. They don't realize they're just vampire pawns now. Yeah, I think I get it. He pulled that trick on me too. David smiles with a smile strained. These are the words of someone stuck in a web of artificial connections and ass-related threats. Fear and supernatural compulsions aren't the best foundation for a strong friendship. David, you are a creature stuck in a web. No, I can enchant friends for myself. Wonderful art. Maybe it's a quiet chuckle. So the friends, more like what the fuck? You can hatch all sorts of cunning plans with human politicians or well pay no rent. The last word sounds like music to my ears. Seems like he seems to enjoy talking about how cool vampires are. Can vampires open beer cans with their minds? Oh, sure, they sure can, but they can't drink beer afterward. When I was just recently turned about 2 years ago, I tried to eat spaghetti, not the smartest decision. Got it. Wait, and what happened? I threw up further than I could see, puking out blood and meatballs, left some graffiti, and a bit of pasta on the wall. The guy who cleaned it up probably thought a whole spaghetti monster exploded in that alley. Mamma mia, no more pasta pizza, no delicious food. That's terrible. You got it, exactly. I miss pizza. My buddy used to say you always have to sacrifice something. In our case, it's pizza. Sounds silly, of course, but in reality, it sucks, though you get used to it over time. I can see his line, David lives in spaghetti-less hell. What kind of monster would do someone to that? You can still order food delivery, by the way, but just this time, eat the delivery guy. He seems to enjoy talking about how cool vampires are. Asked questions. What weakness? What weakness will I have? Well, no more tanning, no reflections in the mirror. If you were ugly before, it's actually a bonus, right? You can enter without an invitation. Garlic doesn't scare you either. Holy water is trickier, depends on the situation. A stake works, but piercing your chest would be quite the challenge. Piercing any part of you is quite the challenge, actually. Our skin is like steel, unless a particularly persistent werewolf comes along. Well, at least you can enter without an invitation or need for unnecessary chit chat with people. David looks at me expectantly. Why did you watch Twilight? I have no idea what you're talking about. I don't watch evil crap. I hold a dramatic pause. He stares at the voice on his shoulder. I never waited so long so it's for an embarrassment. Fine, damn it, already watched everything. All Twilight movies, watched Lost Boys, Enemy of the Vampire, Blade. The idiot who bit me didn't explain anything beyond the basics, like don't go out in the sun, you little punk. I thought maybe these stupid movies had a clue, you know? Hidden all the silly romance and melodrama, most of it turned out to be bullshit. I read legends, searched for info online. As you can imagine, all supernatural beings try to not give themselves away, but sometimes you still stumble upon bits and pieces. Or crazies, one or the other. My favorite, by the way, was From Dusk Till Dawn. Too bad vampires don't explode in real life. Someone told me if you sparkle like Edward Cullen in the sun. Stacey, great breath. No, we don't sparkle. Wanna know what happens if I step into the sun? I catch fire as if someone poured gasoline into a match. It's nasty, final death, very brutal. Wait, wait, imagine the smell and slowly licking your lips. Shake your head, terrible. However, let me ask you one more thing. A lot of things depend on who exactly churn. I'm ready to. Excellent. He leans in a little closer when suddenly we hear a wolf howling. I don't have time to blink before David vanishes his little bat hiding behind the counter. Listen up, don't say anything about me. Sit tight and behave or you'll feel incredibly shitty. Trust me, if you rat me out to that mat, I'll find a way to get out and twist your head off. Fuck. The threat in his voice is completely lacking mostly because this voice now comes from a very small through angry bat. Werewolf, a werewolf's about to come here now. Alright. I am going to end this episode here. But stay tuned for the next one where we shall see what happens with the werewolf.